And I can say about the way to knowing God.
Yes.
A quiet before so the unyankopon, and I quiet first so the unyankopon. Is that not it?
Yes.
Yeah. And you know, you can say the way to knowing God. And we are there no quite ben so near first so the unyankopon.
Which topic now? It says the way. One can say a way.
A way, or say the way. Yes, I know.
That means that there are a lot of ways.
Okay.
But there is the way
of
knowing God. And the way of Matthias and Kofo because say you can be yede hunyame. But actually you kwan de hunyame na ba kope.
But so kwan can say kwan e bebre.
No, me say Kofo can say
okay.
You kwan be bra yede hunyame.
Okay.
But a kwan na ehunyame no e ba ko bo ade no e ba kope. Because you anyame bebre wo ho. So you be wo akwan bebre ade hu anyame.
No cry you nyame bebre. And there's analogy no you nyame fo bebre.
Yes, but we are talking about the creator of bo ade no.
The almighty no.
The almighty no.
Okay.
It's only one way.
Okay.
That almighty. And I want to set the premise of this discussion because this discussion no and not for just ordinary minds. What you say is for from Crawford almost deep. But when you read the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 6 and 7, or say, how be it, we speak wisdom among them that are matured, not the wisdom of this world, and the rulers of the world that come to nothing, but we speak the wisdom of God unto salvation. What can I say? Which is the hidden mysteries of God, which was ordained for our own glory.
Yeah.
Into the secret of knowing God itself is a mystery.
Of course.
And you say utumi hu sa mystery no utiase. One ti sa mystery na se a. We feel say nyame ni ho ana nyame untie mpaibo ana say nyame no mfa na body ho. And then na the problem of the Christian
today.
Yeah. No. Christopher Bebre no because omonte ekwanya yede hu nyame a yede nyame be nantintin omo feel say nyame ni ho. Inti say any other religion biaba nobody introduces something that looks a little bit attractive, then they sway from Christianity to that religion. That's where the problem is.
Okay.
And I noticed everything that you are so conversant with becomes normal.
Yeah.
And when it becomes normal, you don't see the speciality in it. But when you introduce something which is new, for say this in a sombo.
Also, I don't know quite new. So
yes.
Yeah.
And one say when you are with something, secondly, when you are with something over a period of time and your expectations are not met, a natural say you drift to another option. And one of the problems are the Christian fraternity facing is because majority of the people in the Christian folks, they say you should fast, they say you should pray, and they are doing all these things and they are not getting the result. They say they should pay tithe and they are paying tithe. They go to church with offerings and they do all those things. They take the coins offerings and scrape their pocket and everything, and still the blessings are not coming. So then they begin to ask themselves questions. And this question then leads to doubt. But when you get to know God, you will not have any doubt. Everything you realize that you know how this topic now excuse me, say it will be more centralized on the Christian faith. What you must say?
Yeah.
More centralized on the Christian faith because obviously Ghana is a Christian nation.
Of course.
So it will be more centralized of Christian, but God is not for only Christianity.
Oh, okay.
God is universal. It's omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent. Doesn't belong to any religion. But because I'm coming from a Christian background, you know, I know what is going on there. Some of the problems we are facing.
It's in a Christian perspective, right?
From the Christian, more of the Christian perspective. Other perspective may come, but it's dominantly Christian perspective.
Okay.
What you must say? Now,
for me, minim de kakra wonya mesumu e wo Kristo sumu no. Sho som le kire say, aje se nam Yesu Kristo so ansa na ye hunyankopon.
Yes.
There's one for Yesu Kristo so dia. Baby abefa bia no na je se nyankopon na akwakohu no. Eno ye Kristo. Christ no one goes to the Father, that is the Almighty, except that Christ Jesus.
Yeah.
So is that the one you're going to teach us right now? And I say you have a different way to knowing God.
Relatively, yes, but based on a different understanding, or a deeper understanding. Let me use the word a deeper understanding, not a different understanding, but a deeper understanding. Yes. Jesus said that I am the way, the truth, and the life. Christ spoke through Jesus. that he is the way, the truth, and the life, and nobody gets to the Father except by him. Now, Christians must be able to try to distinguish.
Yeah.
Christo enam Yesu so eka say ono no ye ekwan no nokre no ene nkwa no no bie no obekọ eja ne nchen ajesofa no so. Now, say you to me distinguish ye church mu na hu the difference between Jesus and Christ. This is one of the confusion the churches we are facing as a church. Because Jesus is different from the Christ.
Hey.
Yes.
But we call the name Jesus Christ.
Actually, if you read the book of Matthew, say, tell no man I am Jesus, the Christ. Before the name Christ came in, he said that when the obisa disciples, they say, and then nkofo kan fa me ho, who do men say that I am? And then nkofo say me.
Okay.
And also we must say Elijah, we must say we obiso ye way. And obisa disciples say, what do you say that I am? And Peter responded that you are the Son of the living God.
Okay.
And he said, tell no man I am Jesus, the Christ. So the Christ is an attainment. Okay. Jesus is his personality.
Oh, okay.
Oh, into Jesus, no, into the Bible. Now, sometimes when Jesus is speaking, like I say, the Son of Man.
Yeah.
And sometimes he says the Son of God.
The Son of God.
Anytime he's talking about, he uses the expression the Son of Man, he's talking about his physical personality as the Son of Mary.
There's a nipa, there's a nipa.
Mary Awono. But anytime he talks about the Son of God, he's talking about his spiritual estate of attainment of divinity. That's the Christ.
Okay. Okay.
So when they talk about the Son of God, he has moved from the level of the personality, which is the flesh state, to the level of divinity, which is true image and likeness of God. Then he calls it the Son of Man, the Son of God.
The Son of God.
But anytime Obi say on Otehin, because they say, come and see, for the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. Then he was talking about his personality, he's talking about the flesh. The flesh of him. Yes, into Jesus, nipa or attaining the level of Christhood.
Okay.
And to be able, I repeat, to be able to know God, you can never know God without going through the Christ.
Wow.
I don't really
exactly what the Bible says.
Yes, I don't really don't know bother myself too much about what other religions are saying.
Okay, okay.
But I'm telling you what I know, not because the Bible is saying it, but because of my own experiences.
Oh, okay.
You can never experience and know God without knowing Christ. Mm-hmm. Somebody will ask, why would you have to know Christ before you can know God? Yes. What is going to happen is what is happening is that the Christ is the first incarnation and manifestation of divinity within manifest creation in this world. God is divine, omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent. He is everywhere. He has no beginning, has no end. So nobody actually can conceive God. We only experience God. And in our knowing God, we experience his attributes and his energy. Okay. Because God has no form, he is formless. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. Only form. So what we do that we know God through experience and encounter a relationship with him. So when he wanted to manifest itself, first one said, now manifesting in the form of angelic beings or sending angelic beings to come. And those olden days, they saw those angels that manifest themselves as God.
Of course.
So then in different manifestations, depending on the kind of manifestations, we are saying.
Maybe Moses called mountains,
yes. Yes. Yeah, we'll come to all those light issues. Okay. So once manifest in this form, there's a way you Jehovah Jireh.
Okay.
Then Jehovah Shalom. Okay. So depending on the manifestation of God, you're describing the expressions that take place. Okay. Now, when God manifests itself, now what is the degraded version of his full potential? Because God is one, is unit. Behold, O Israel, for thy Lord thy God is one. God does not dwell in duality, and God is not a tripartite being, and God is not a trinium being like the concept of Trinity. God is only one.
But we have God the Son, God the Father, and God the Holy Spirit. Are they not the same, but in three, one God in three?
No, it's not one God is in three. It's a divine God in different level of manifestation.
Oh, okay.
So the concept, the concept is not well interpreted properly. What you say? It is let's say I having 2 sons in addition to, we are all going to bear the same surname.
Yeah.
Or they are all going to be Mensah. That's
yeah.
God the Father,
Okay.
God the Son,
Son,
and God the Holy Spirit. So same Father, the God energy manifesting in different dimensions and different spheres.
Okay.
And that's where the whole thing is. Now, to be able to harness this God or experience this God and know Him, you must know Him through Christ. Now, what is this Christ? Christ is a name that was given to a spirit entity through which we can harness God. So Christ, the spirit we call Christ, actually the name is not Christ.
Oh, just as soon as you find Christo, no.
Yes.
And you know, crown Christo, no.
No, and you say you din and a different. Susuma ya tunu din Christo, ni din and Christo.
Oh, okay.
What you say?
Because
the Christ is somebody's language.
Okay.
I may call it differently in my language.
See, I'm friend Christo.
When you go to, let's say, Arab country, they may call it a different name, but it's same spirit, and it doesn't belong to any religion. It's the same spirit, and in the most generic name that we can call this Christ is the self.
Self.
Yes.
That the word self.
Yeah, the word self. SELF. Self.
Self.
Well, self has no identity. When you talk about the self, how do you describe the self? The self has no identity.
Self.
It's self. Me to have myself, you to have yourself. The self has no identity.
Self, yeah.
You understand? So that's the most generic name that we can describe that spirit, you know. And that spirit was not conceived. It was transmitted.
Okay.
What you say? Yes, yes. So that self, no, which the Bible calls it the breath of life,
okay,
was not conceived through sexual intercourse.
No.
You understand?
Yeah.
So he said that, and after God has formed all human nature, he said God breath or send his idea. No, it wasn't created.
Yeah.
And then man became a conscious being. Man became a living soul. That self now, my life force, and my connection to God, no, is that self that in Christianity we call it Christ.
Oh, okay.
So without that self, there is no way you can connect to God.
I get you now.
So that self is called Christ. So when I'm talking from the Christian perspective, I can speak on authority without doubt and without fear and without favor. That without Christ, you can never know God. Other religion may choose to call it a different name. That without Krishna, you can never know God. Without this, you can never. That is not my business. I don't belong to that tradition. I don't belong to that religion. But from the Christian perspective, I'm telling you that without the realization of the Christ, you can never know God.
Happy 98.9 FM. And come on, Chicheni Gusu, boy, ne, Mr. FP Mensah, and a share for comments, ne, questions, here, Brammy Mount text line, 020-8533-467, 020-8533-467. I found questions, Ebra, you go so a yes, you question be a busa, Oko Facebook, on so, which media to a happy 98.9 FM on Facebook. You go so, choir, befaso, a dear who, or bad Pono ankasa.
So the Christ na can answer no. The question is that is it then able that Christ? Because if is the gate to knowing God, then we have to identify that Christ. And where is that Christ? And how can we attain that Christ?
Okay.
So we read the book of Romans chapter 8 verse 29. Or Romans 8:29 say, to them that he foreknew. Okay. To them, he called them to conform them to the image of his son. Which son is he talking about? The Christ.
The Christ.
So he called all of us to make us to become like the Christ. That he, Christ, will be the firstborn among many brethren. So as you sit here, you are the Christ. The Christ is in you. The Christ is in me. The Christ is in Moses. The Christ is in Abraham. The Christ is in everybody. Though we may call it different names, but it has the same identity. So when you read the book of First Colossians chapter 1 verse 27, or say to whom God will, let me read this one specifically so that we will understand it better. It says that First Colossians, it says that to whom God would make known what is the riches of the glory of this mystery. He calls it a mystery among the Gentiles, which is Christ. One can Jesus.
Christ.
Which is Christ in you, the hope of glory.
Yeah.
So the hope of human... Colossians chapter 1 verse 27.
Colossians chapter 1 verse 27. Those of you sending messages, you can go and check. Colossians chapter 1
verse 27.
Yahuda idea, but I say I don't agree with this man. That's your own word. No. Togbi Asranso the about say Christ is not a spirit, it's a way of living a good life. That is Christ. Dr. Safari Buafo is watching live. Togbi Asranso live. You can also add your comment on Facebook live. But we are learning. If you don't understand anything, you can put your question there and help you out. So let's go.
Yes. So it says that the Christ is in you, and the Christ is in all of us. And that Christ, which is in all of us, is what we call the self.
The self. The self.
And I'm telling you, and I repeat again, Christ is an energy, it's a spirit that emanated from God. Christ is light. And light is a spirit. That's why the Christ said that you are I am the light of this world.
Of this world. Yeah.
He that cometh after me shall never walk in darkness. And he also told you that you are also the light of this world. If your light so shine, you must put that light on the candlestick for other people to see.
You don't put it under there.
Yes.
You put it at the top.
You understand? So the Christ is a spirit. Yes, what the common man said that Christ is a way of life. It is a way of life. The values of life and the virtues of life will make you realize that spirit Christ.
Okay.
You understand?
I believe so. Asra. But I think the explanation you've given,
because you cannot say you want to realize Christ and you're a murderer, you're a thief, you're a nothing. You need to live a life of virtue. So your way of life, which are the values of life, compassion, love, forgiveness, kindness, unconditional love, these virtues, this way of life will lead you to the realization of the Christ spirit which is within you. So basically, you see, the problem we have as a people is language. What I say? Your problem is language. If everybody could raise their consciousness to the level where they have a personal experience, then we will not say it's not called Christ, it's a way of life. It's language. You are trying to explain something which is not within the limited form of human language. It's beyond the limited human language. So we need to talk about it anyway. So we need to talk about it anyway. But if you are in my shoes and you are in the shoes of a few people who have had their connection to their true self, which is the Christ, which is called the Christ nature within themselves, you wouldn't even talk. For instance, when I want to explain what sugar is, or that I want to tell you sugar is sweet, obviously, or quinine is bitter. I'll try to explain what bitter is until you experience what bitterness. It's very bitter. You understand? So our problem as humanity is language. And language has created mass confusion. And don't forget that even in the Bible, during the Tower of Babel, it is language the universal God used to create confusion amongst them. And it has been so till now. So language is our basic problem. Our basic problem of misunderstanding and divergent views and opinions and all those things is because of the language you use. They are so limited that they cannot express the limitless nature of that thing which you want to explain. Until language is so limited to that of course there's and then something is happening to him. What is that something? Yes, that's the whole thing. But if you go through the experience yourself, you get to know whether you choose to call it Krishna, you choose to call it Buddha. You choose to call it in my religion I call it Christianity. I call it Christ.
Yeah.
You understand? And that is the way you can realize God. And you can experience God and know God. Because obviously, the only way your son can know that you are his father is dependent on the DNA connection.
Of course.
You can live with somebody in the house. The day there will be a DNA, the day they will conduct some DNA or something, and the person realizes that his DNA does not match your DNA, that day, whatever love he has for you as a father, that love may disappear. He may pretend that is your father, but the truth of the matter is that the true love of fatherliness would disappear. You understand? Because there's nothing in him which is like or synonymous to what is in you. You get the whole thing? Yes, there's not. So there's no connection. Yes. So there's likewise in our true nature, our Bible says that for the power of God will be at work according to his power, which is at work in you. So there has to be some kind of connection. And this is where this whole confusion came.
Also, Okasanoka say, answer na obehunu nyankopon, to say ye pe kwan behunu nyankopon. Aje wo ye obo abrabo particular ones be. Answer na timi mature into getting to know God.
Yes.
Because we are trying to get to know God.
Yes.
Like you are saying, or live any life be opebia, but also which means on yani so ye modi hunyankopon. But say Mensah, to me church and step by step, what do you think one should do to be able to know God well? Steps when I see and take you one after the other for us to be able to know God and know Him.
So yes, that's why we are here.
Okay.
First of all, we take the values and then we take the practice.
Yeah. Then try the
way of life, no. Well, send out the ball, bra, and the kind of practice I'll be. And yet, way of life will make you realize God.
Oh, okay.
But it is a conduit, it's a precept to that level of realization. For one of the most preferred or most required way of life in knowing God is living in a condition of unconditional love. You have to love without condition.
Yes.
Unconditional love.
And also there deal.
And
any people be about bibi onya firu huntia. Who say a conditional.
It is because of yen program your dream because you have your program your dream say nya bibi free abrabom.
San obi a dream.
Yes, but say who start to say old dream say say odi bibi ma abrabo. It's easy to live an unconditional life. So it's all the mindset, the programming of our mindset. Say na ye programming your dream from the beginning.
Now, as a stand, we have all been conditioned with that particular.
Not all of us.
Not all of us. Oh.
There are exceptions. You understand?
Okay. So
and I understand why the majority of the people almost dreams are because Christ obey we are say I'm used to can be and I'm used to so I can say broad is the way that leads to destruction, and many are they that on that way.
Oh, okay.
But narrow is the way that leads to life, and only few find it.
Yeah.
So I understand why in comfort do drona and that kind of misconception.
What you say,
yes. So the point is that one, we must live a life of unconditional love.
That is one.
That is one of them.
Wow.
We must live a life of compassion. Tima. He says now we live in a world that there's no compassion. No. Yes, because do you know why?
No.
Because the self is dying. Yes. Because we are more tilted towards the carnality, towards the material life than the spiritual life. That's what the Bible said. To be carnally minded is death.
It's death.
Yes. So people are dead, but they don't know. Maybe when I look at, because when you step out of life, you detach from life and watch life as a whole, as a drama. And now me catch your mokano. But there are times you can consciously step out of life, detach yourself from life, and then watch life like a cinema.
Can we do that?
Yes, it is done. I do it every time when I sit in car.
How do we do that? Through meditation, Anna? How?
No, yes, meditation is part of it. Yes, I become part of your life.
I want to know. I don't know how to do
yes. So you must
step out. You
have to step out of life and then watch life as it unfolds. That is where you begin to have understanding of life is, what life is. Because we are not able to observe life as like a video or a movie. You see, he who is acting the movie really does not enjoy the movie. And he who is on the field playing the football does not really enjoy the soccer. So at a certain point in time, to have the full understanding of life, and so to me, step it out of life, consciously, not that physical. That's why the Bible says you are in the world, but not of the world. Okay. So that means that you need to detach yourself from the world so that you can understand what the world truly is and the direction at which the world is going. And that will give you a better perspective of how to live your life within the world so that you don't become a subservient to the world. So we must live an unconditional love.
Unconditional. And we are one. No?
And then we must have compassion.
Compassion. Make people notes. You can also keep your notes. First one is unconditional love.
Yes, unconditional. That is the key, the master. It's the love that holds everything in this universe.
That's the main.
Yes, and when you condition love, then it becomes a lust.
Oh, okay.
Because lust is inferior to what love is.
Oh, okay.
What you say? Because say when somebody lusts after you, it lusts after you, and it appears to be love, but based on certain conditions he has observed. It is oba ediwichi na or you we are now ediwichi because of usika and now bibisa, and that is lust. That is not love. It's the inferior type of love because it is based on conditions.
Yeah, condition. There be some on few.
Yes, but love itself is unconditional. It doesn't matter who you are, where you are, what you have, what you don't have, what you do, what you don't do, how beautiful, or how ugly. It doesn't care.
That is what we need.
That is what we need, first of all, if you want to know God. Because God is love. So if you don't have love, there is no way you can know God. And that is the problem of Christianity today.
Wow.
There's no love in the church. There's no love in the church. Nobody really cares. Everybody goes to the church for his personal gain and interest.
Hey.
You understand? And the universe have said that do unto others as you would want others to do unto. We call the law of the reciprocal action of love.
Yeah.
You understand? And we don't care. You want people to love you, but you don't love people.
You don't love people.
You want people to help you when you're in trouble, but you don't want to help others when you are in trouble. So when you live such way of life, what happens is that you die spiritually. Gradually, you die spiritually.
What will
Yes.
Which is secondly compassionate. Compassion.
Yeah, to be compassionate, to have compassion, to be compassionate.
Yeah.
You see.
Now let's move to the third one.
The third one is non-judgmental. You shouldn't be judgmental.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Non-judgmental.
You shouldn't be judgmental. You see, you should be open to life because you are connected to an infinite love intelligence. Mm-hmm. So you shouldn't say, oh, where your papa, where your papa, where you say, where you... No, don't be judgmental. Just live life with beauty, with tranquility. Whatever comes your way, treat with it all.
But the Bible says we should reproach. Yeah, reproach.
Yeah, reproach doesn't mean judgmental. There's a difference in being judgmental and reproach.
Oh, okay.
You know, let's say, for instance, when my son is in the house and is doing something which I feel will be hurtful to him, I can correct him.
Okay.
But to be judgmental is to utterly condemn that person to nothingness.
Oh, okay.
That is being judgmental.
That's what we're talking about. Okay.
What you want to say? Hey, they also must to go hell. No, it's not in your place. Because you cannot tell what is going to happen tomorrow. Because that same person you are seeing tomorrow can be a kingpin in your faith. So leave everything to divinity. He has created this world, and he wants you to play a role within the world. So just play your role the way you want. You have been assigned to play your role, and leave that aspect to divinity. You'll be surprised. You can decide at the end of the day, I made the law, I did everything. I canceled everybody, come back home.
What's when you?
What do you have to do?
What's when you?
You understand?
One condemning Crawford. A lot of Christians are doing that now.
And when you watch my videos, I hardly talk about those things because I'm careful of being judgmental. If you are doing something that, per what my understanding could be injurious, and I say, "Be how I make it so practice well, you know, it beats me how because of the condition. Which means to meet the condition now breaking law now on the baby there's a much more way, yes, but I'll not tell you that practice is wrong. It's your choice.
You have a way of telling.
Yes, it's your choice, and everything in life is choice. What you must say. So you cannot say that. How can I counter that? I didn't say share a blue and white. And you're correct. No, that's your choice.
What condemn me?
And no, your choice. You understand? I cannot condemn your choice. Likewise, I cannot, because we live in a world of variety, and it is God that has made it such. And everything that we are seeing is God's own intelligence playing, including the devil himself. The entity we call the devil himself. Because in the Bible, you see somewhere God negotiated with the devil. He said God called his children to have discussion, and he came around. He said, Chama, what are you doing here? And so I'm just going to and fro. Yes, I'm not saying, have you seen my son? My son, Job? He said, oh yes, but because you have put an edge around him, so then you prospered him and all those things. Okay, go, I take the edge, do, but don't touch his life. All those things are allegory to tell you that everything is God's doing. So do not judge. At that level, you say that devil is a bad man. But what is the devil doing? He's acting based on God's instructions. But if anything is outside of the space of God, then it's dangerous. What the Bible says, that's what the Bible says. In him we live and move and have our being. You see, the problem of Christianity today is we have lost our spirituality. And that is why a lot of people are moving from the church to other religions. And doing all sort of practices That they don't get. You see, the church has lost its spirituality. The church is solely functioning on theology and not spirituality.
Brofuna Josin Trino. With the Mensah, you brofu, or catching a tree night and not
once like Christosumu school corner, Adosus chin Christo Susumu Ejuma. That's the problem. So if you don't go to Pentecostal theological school, you don't go to Anglican theological school, you cannot be a preacher in that church. Even if God has ordained you spiritually, you cannot.
Affect Christianity.
And so now Christianity has been more indoctrinated, living by dogmas, than spiritual wisdom.
It's a corporate entity.
Yes. You see, so that is the problem. And when we speak, like, we're not speaking because we are against Christianity. We are speaking because we want Christianity to assume its original estate.
That is it.
That Christ sacrificed for. You understand? Because we have made that sacrifice of Christ vain.
As you are to the JJ, you are saying no cry.
Yes, you have made it vain. Yes.
The steps on the first one is unconditional love, second is compassionate, and the third one is non-judgmental.
The fourth one is humbleness.
Humility.
Yes. You need to be humble.
I love that word. Humility.
You understand? You need to be humble. And I always tell people, when you see people, they say, oh, they are spiritual. I'll tell them, then you'll be working with bodyguards and you need to go through protocols to see them and all those things. No, there's a problem. Because the more you get to have that spiritual love, the more you want to get close to people who really need help. Yes, you want to help. The Bible says that, and Jesus, seeing the people going into destruction, he was moved with compassion.
Oh.
When you find the meaning of the word compassion from the Greek perspective, it says that a sharp twist in the intestine to the extent that you cannot contain, but to act based on what you feel. Yes. Yes, that is compassion.
Compassion.
I just say one solve a problem. No?
How many
yes.
I am here.
So he said that Jesus was moved with compassion.
It's how humility has me, and you will be there. Ego.
Yeah, that's the problem, and that's why when you start true spirituality, one of the first things we deal with at the Way Network, we deal with your ego, because without overcoming your ego, there is no way you can worship God. There's no way you can experience God. So humility. That aspect of your personality, which is your senses, your emotions, and your intellect, you must transcend it. It's what to mean transcend. What to mean transcend there? No, what to mean transcend? All that you are doing is not spiritual, because there's a difference between spirituality and spiritism.
Oh, okay.
And people doesn't. Ahum sem and ahum asem. Ahum sem. They are two different things.
Okay.
And most of the people are practicing spiritism and not spirituality.
Wow.
And this is where the confusion is. And maybe we can take another time to talk about this.
We have to treat
spiritism
and
versus spirituality. They look the same.
It sounds the same too.
But one is external, one is internal.
Okay.
We are not saying one is good over the other.
Okay.
They are all part of the journey, but one is at the base of the ladder and the one is at the top of the ladder.
You treat one of these.
You understand?
Yeah.
So that is the problem, that a lot of people are seeing spiritism as spirituality. And that is where a lot of people are being misled. Because with spiritism, you deal with the energy entities outside of you. But with spirituality, it is your own internal development to the realization and experience of divinity within you. What you say? What we need to understand is that we need to live that realm, in the realm of humbleness. And when you realize yourself, you realize who you truly are. The more you unfold in divinity, the more you unfold in God, the more you calm down. The more you become humble. The more you become meek.
Okay.
So you realize that some part of the Bible, Jesus Christ said, "Learn of me, for my spirit is meek and what? Humble."
And humble.
You understand?
Yeah.
And it is light. My yoke is light. So the more you become humble, the more you become selfless. You understand?
Yeah.
And you were like, what is this? What is in this life for? You don't clamor for things. For me, every time my people sometimes they even sometimes have to go, no, he won't allow you to do this. But I said, no. Sometimes my wife will say, no, why do you have to do this? But I said, no, why are you so hard on life? Take it easy. Everything
the
is
first time I
fine.
met you, I noticed that thing with you. I didn't know. Very humble and simple.
Yes, because the more you realize that.
How did you do that? Because
no, it's an attempt. It's not something. No, it's not something you work for it. It's an act of grace.
Adom.
Yes, it's an act of grace that is bestowed upon you when you truly walk on the path of realization. What you say? That's what the Bible says. For salvation is by grace, least no man should boast of it. It's not by works. Because anytime you use works, you use yourself in it, you think you have attained it, you think it is your doing, then that is where the pride and ego comes in. You understand? Yes. But this whole act of unconditional love, compassion, humility, non-judgmental is all an act of grace. And we can only realize it as act of grace through the self, which we call the Christ.
So are these the only 4 steps?
No, and the other one is respect, a deep admiration for life.
Oh, okay.
You must have respect for life. Yes. You must have respect for life. Not human being.
Oh, okay.
Respect for life.
Okay, let me add it. I'm putting my notes down.
Yes. You must have respect for life, not only human beings. And what is respect? Respect is deep admiration for existence. And when you have respect for life, say in so air toa baller, knowing very well say baller and beko go be fear akwala ko square be the buffalo better from afar because you have admiration for life. Say respect for existence say better I say krobi wo ho obetwa dua kroko permit.
Oh yeah. There are some countries you can't even cut. They want to be
because they have respect for life and they admire nature. But we don't. Even human beings I remember back in the days when I was running. I have an NGO called Pulse of the Earth. It's an environmental preservation NGO, helping making people understand there's the need for us to preserve our environment and all those things. Then I've written on my signpost animal advocacy, animal right and advocacy. And a friend's wife, who she's a banker, a master's holder in banking, she's one of the head of. I don't want to mention the bank's name. They came to visit me, so I was standing in front of my office, and we were talking. I said, I'm saying, oh, are you serious? And I'm saying, I say, that's what I
seem to be abnormal.
Animal right and advocacy. I say, I gonna grab nipa any right now in moi. Hey, that's what I said. Yes, I say, nipa any right. Na nipa any kamafo. Na oka animal right and advocacy. You see, look at somebody who's educated to the master's degree. Hey, look at the level of thinking. Are you understand? It's so pity. But why did God place us here? He said, let us create man in our image and likeness. And we put him on in charge of our creation. To take care of creation. Yes. So you see, everything about our existence, we've misplaced it.
Who tell me the question about 020-8533-467? I think some questions are trooping in, and then she'll be making kind be Eddie Amana. Steps on this. 1 million 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1 million 1 million 5 gra. Unconditional love, compassion, non-judgmental, humility, and respect for life. Is that all?
Yeah, and the last one, the 6th one, is forgiveness.
Boniface, forgiveness. Okay.
We must learn to forgive people.
Because
we live in a world of fallibility. The Bible says that for there's none perfect under the sun. It said there's none perfect under the sun. So we must have the heart to be able to forgive people. These are the values and the ways of life that qualifies one to the path of realizing the Christ.
I like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Me sure say one with you what try to ho. Niaman sin betimi aboa no wa fa so a wayo e de abo bra na etimi aboa mo hu obo ade nyankopon ne yi. I don't know Mr. Mensah church and
you can claim to have everything you have. For me, if I don't see these 6 things expressing in you, I know you are practicing spiritism. Either you are using an angel, you are using a norm, you are using a genies, or using any other entity,
or some dwarfs or something,
whatever it is. But if you are using the real spirit, the spirit divinity within yourself, once that thing is activated, naturally this thing begins to play.
Wow.
naturally these things begin to play. And if you go deeper, so maybe we cannot go to that dimension. You will explain. We have something called the energy centers. Energy centers in the body. Now, these energy centers in the body have 7 energy centers. When you go to the
chakras,
when you go to the eastern side, I'm afraid of chakras.
Oh, okay.
Now, these chakras correspond to this virtue. So the 7th one is truth. To have 7 energy centers. You see, so it corresponds. So the root chakra, which is blocked by fear,
of course,
this blocked by lies and all those things. So the virtues or the values you practice it helps you to open that chakra. So when I see people say, oh, I'll give you this plant, I'll give you this herb and all those things, and I say, did you eat something to block your chakra? No. So there's nothing you're going to eat or drink that's going to unblock your chakra. For that which block your chakra is your way of life. You generated an energy. For instance, the throat chakra.
And to chakra bet me be Abraham drobia. No, but
drobia no be chakra. Hey, I'm telling you the truth today.
Hey, Mr. Mensah, I'm going to go for you more. Everyone you know him kunu ne.
Mr. Yes, no one say in running kunu what it does is
good. Chakras baby.
Let us be honest and truthful to the people.
Yes, you are the
in running in kunu nyamanyama no. It does not open the chakras, but what it does, it clears your aura.
Oh, okay.
But there's the aura there, which is your energies.
Okay.
And then the chakras are there, which is their energy centers.
Centers, like so.
So, since I don't know, who was on bad or I pick it. Now, the spiritual soaps, the herbs, and all those things we prepare. It I also do some for some people. When I say I the aura is not too good.
Okay.
It was a nyama. Oku be na say obia ye mo bia konkwa ye ma your aura is not attractive. Yeah. So those things, what it does is that it clears your aura.
Wow.
But it has nothing to do with the chakras.
The chakras, okay.
Because the chakras are created based on your energy orientation. So, for instance, when you have a problem with truth,
minimum.
No, when you have a problem with truth, your truth chakra will block.
Okay, no credit.
Because you don't speak truth, you lie. So you generate the opposite energy to that which opens the chakra. So, say, your connection mo bina, so unima, ocean pakona climb that chakra, or you'll be trying to. So when I do connect, I can watch you like this, and I know
you are lying.
You're lying. But when you reach here, if you're when you reach out, the person begins to cough.
No.
When you don't tell your meditation, do I want to say no? What's then I know that you have been living a life of lies. So that place is blocked. Until connection, the inner is opening, and I have that reaction. This almost say yes, I need do na kuma.
No party.
He hasn't got love. He hasn't got compassion. What you say? He's a mean person. He's bitter. He's unforgiving.
Oh,
what you say? That means he's sexually active.
Oh, okay.
What you say? Very sexually active.
Wow.
You get the whole thing. So it is like that. Yes, I would say the pineal gland is blocked. Adrenal negative. It's not positive. Destructive thinking. So once I do analysis, I think we did some, and one of them had the same. I don't want to mention them. Okay. And I want to mention the masculine. But catch them say, "Hey, because they do say that then I say no. It may not necessarily be a wicked person, but maybe he's more oriented. Maybe he looks at the negative side of life, and it doesn't matter. It's all generating energy. You get the whole thing. So when you reach that level, no one say not you understand? You feel pain because the energy is resonating. So these are the virtues and the lifestyles that you need to have to qualify you to be able to harness the Christ self and walk the path of God knowing. Now, let's come to the second part of it.
Okay.
Now that we know, this part deals with ourself, the self. Because these virtues, when you practice this virtue, what happens is that you naturally begin to unfold the self. And the very base of it,
after say why yes, I know
for the self. One can say no. Yes, the self, the Christ self within you, what polishing.
Okay.
And the base of it, which is not too compulsory, but it helps, is having a more greener diet. You understand?
Greener diet,
a more greener diet. Like more of a vegetarian diet. Yes, because one, it gives you good health. 2, it gives you more energy.
Okay.
Because, our body does not need the red blood. We need the green blood.
Okay.
Because it's a chlorophyll, no plants, no a plant in the moja.
Yeah.
That's why once a plant, the leaves every day. Now green free, once the plant begins
the
to
ones
die.
who permit to be benedy and I say,
yeah, that's what I say. So you try to manage it. I'm not saying stop.
Yes,
but and a lot of people having hypertension and all those things because of excessive meat consumption. Because meat is by nature, it is not good for our lives. We are not designed to eat meat in the first place.
And yes.
Because the human anatomy. Once we had in life, we have the carnivorous beings and herbivorous beings.
Of course.
And they said that we have the third one, which is omnivorous beings.
Okay.
When you look at the herbivorous nature creatures, they have certain characteristics. And then when you see the carnivorous natures, almost more certain characteristics.
Okay.
Now, this carnivorous natures, which are more fangs. I want to know the crackable. They say Jamwani, tiger or fangs.
Yeah.
More sharp molars. Because their molars are not meant to grind, but to tear. Almost molars near sharp.
Okay.
They have shorter intestine. You might then air short. Because the meat must come out quick so that it doesn't create toxins and decay in their stomach. Now, when you take the herbivorous animals, we have flat molars. Because your molars is meant to grind. Until you see which air flat. You need fangs. Because we are not designed to tear.
No.
Now, we have longer intestine.
Okay.
Because it is said that our small intestine, the colon of the intestine is 9 times your height. Yeah, because why the vegetables they digest early, so it has to be in the system for assimilation to take place.
Okay.
What must I say? And that is why the reason why we get sick is that when we eat a lot of meat, there's a lot of buildup of toxins in our system. And that's why one of the first things when you want to start true spiritual exercise, you have to go through what you call the detoxification exercise. And that detoxification exercise in Christianity is what we call fasting. What you want to say? Yeah. Because when you fast, what is happening is that you clean your system of toxins. Into nyama enye wo system ni nyina preventing your balance. When you fast, and nyina flash. And now fast, I will say urine get very very deep yellow. What that means toxins is going until be fasted after 3 days. No more I say onya premonitions, onya visions, or dream. Because now we're detoxing the system. So there's a proper circulation of the blood.
Okay.
What you don't know, that blood you see, it contains a life force we call the life trans.
That's right.
So when there's a improper circulation of the blood, it affects your ability as a spirit being. That's why the Bible said that thou shalt not eat the blood. When you read the Levitical law that was given, it said thou shalt not eat the blood, for in the blood lies the life of God.
Obi the message about say, please kindly tell Mr. F.P. Mensah to the Greek version, to turn the discussion into the Greek version of the word compassion for me. Livingston Tetekwashi and all the about say, I would love to write and keep it for my life. If he can convert it to a Greek version. Oh, really?
Yeah, you should check it now. You see, that's the problem we have. You see, the problem we have as a people, we want everybody to educate us. Watch me here.
Yeah.
You want to be everything. We want to be spoon-fed. Now, this is even if I don't know the Greek, I can just go to
Google and then you can get the Greek version.
The Greek name for compassion.
Compassion. It's so simple.
So we must learn to be independent and then learn things for ourselves. What can I say? Until you're on the main country, and Uncle Google.
Livingston Tete from Livingston Tetekwashi and all the about.
Until Livingston, Patoko Google. Now Google. Let's learn to do research for ourselves.
Okay.
Let's learn to self-educate. Yeah, one. And yes, I say, always if you want to depend on people, you'll be indoctrinated. And that is why a lot of people are indoctrinated. So we follow what people are saying, but we don't listen to ourselves, we don't educate ourselves. And anytime you want to get information from outside, the one who gives you the information controls the way you think.
Yeah.
He tells you what you want to, he wants you to hear.
Ahampana wokano da bia baso bi na kire wode a wangasa no obohu ana afi no why akra because no nupa na peno no obeka de akire wo. Happy 98 point. Let me go to another question. You say good morning Mr. Boafo. I say good morning Mr. Wamkasi from Tema. Please where can I get this month's number? Ubenya number no high anya but kwasi of Tema. Don't worry, I'll give his number to you by the end of this discussion. his number will be given to you. Let me go to another message here. Let me open this one. I'll say, good morning, Mr. Bob. You guys are doing a wonderful job. My name is Della. I'm enjoying the discussion. I'm learning a lot today. Della, thank you very much for your message. Okay. If you really want to know how to know God, if you want to know the ways and the steps to take to know God, and then now also watch me, I had there. Washia meba say me more commercial information kakra tina message everyone so on sa anke video because so na messages no embra na menken kan emfama o me Mr. Mensah and shia ewa ha say tino egusu so my points nyina message mu biom at the amount in due time. All I need from you not to touch the dial manana haya na yenko so ayensua de ti yewie bibia na fe won so why dey watching ehunu na was what to one among sanity. Number is 020-8533-467. You can keep the number. You can send a message through that same number. Now audio about number can kind at the amount. Any question that you have, Mr. Mensah is here to respond. Obayano at the amount. And I make a chance on for onsa anke video. My video and koswa and nahaya. Maybe more information kakra. I know your commercial information. You know, men found sanke video. Maybe here. Happy 98.9 FM. Mepacho paint and sip. When you paint and sip, I'm the YFM. You can watch him. Tiana Mapotone Kakra. I'll say the season of love is here with us, and I bet you have your calendars. You show us what Michael calendar. It is the 4th edition of YFM Paint and Sip. Paint and Sip. Ghana's official urban radio station. YFM is popped. We are popped up to give you a thrill live at the Legon City Mall. Monday 12 February at the Legon City Mall and Paint and Sip na eba 5 p.m. sharp. Entry is very free. You're required to make your free reservation via WhatsApp. So if you're listening to me and you want to be part of this paint and sip, just send your WhatsApp through 0242-755-323. 0242-755-323 and avoid late arrival. Shannon, so side attraction will be paint and sip, karaoke, artist performances, beverage testing, networking, flow art, and many more. It's YFM Paint and Sip in partnership with Legon City Mall and supported by Ghana Beverage Awards, E-Productions, Diedo, Perception Management International Ghana, Kahobi, Happy 98.9 FM, and Sukaho, Area YFM Paint and Sip, Shannon. So Monday, we are February 12, 5 p.m. sharp at the Legon City Mall. Wednesday, this will be 14 February. And also Africa Regent Hotel. So what if on Saturday and 17 February, the PM West Hills Mall. Don't forget the time is 5 p.m. sharp. The entry is free, very, very free. Also, make a reservation. Just give us a WhatsApp through this line 0242-755-323. 0242-755-323. Now make your reservation. Says here, free. Tier one, you to me book you to announce you free. I know you pay that sip. Basso weekend, for the Basso Monday, next week Monday. So. In the meantime, Casapreco Company Limited, Casaba Puma Drinks. Because Puma Drinks are a soft drink. Day about I said, we any piano say what an ashes are. No a Puma drink actually cacra. Bukronya bibi actually drink be actually on Puma drink. No aji kuri no de akaho. Obisu to me top plantain chips no de abon Puma drink no so. Obisu to me ji koliko. Uwi koliko na no Puma drink. Obi an the combination. And it's my own Sanka Puma drink here, Casapecodi, but it be very, very nice soft drink. You cool and you orange. Into the Puma drinks in the Casapreco, Cofa, my own Sanka, and also Gina Viakete, Nafa Kulu, Hoka Crab. Open the door to the any occasion, Biana. You can give us a call through 0262 351 251. 0262 351-251 or sabe couple more drinks like Casa Precodi Abanibi. Ubusu Chemo on St. Page, my dear, so me patcho me more commercial information if you are doing so. Way free Michael's Grace Company Limited. Michael's Grace Company Limited, I offer paint papa party bagana. And we have Belka cotton paint. Belka cotton paint, they be a make a one some chill. I paint sunko down so from paint I will market sunina. Belka cotton paint way a soundproof. A sound so fireproof. You say, and why Bombardier Su Japadia Suono, and I will be with Juman Neja to Nashinina. O shop akwagia abokaji nyamagum na agya tom na ahye uchi mi amam papa baby a wodi udwuma baby a ofie wo paint a wodi be paint mu agya ntum ntoho eye Belka cotton paint ebo wo japade ho ban e de fridge ahyehye ho paint wo wodi paint wade ho a agya ntum mben wade nti ma won sanka sa paint na wo ye project bi a wodi paint e beboa wo e san so ye soundproof. We make a for the amount sorry akesi mo si mu sorry na bimbe residential areas aya mo ye services ana amount for mu disturb wo e sound say sound no e ha wo mu koto Belka cotton paint na fa paint wa son dem ho mbetime abrukoto abruskata sound bi ampie mfia sorry dem ho na obi an complain say mu disturb wo with noise making won sa de no we soundproof paint Belka cotton paint make am for the ama recording studios ne nightclubs ne ade wo the paint wo sound BMP ma won sanka Belka cotton paint na to sound so very very durable and affordable just na bo nya de ne sound so chere pa emfedi enye fi sound so resist heat wo the paint wo dem nyunyu asa na wo the AC ahye ho de bintesa eno ye Belka cotton paint ma won sanka bi won kran ha kasoa baby a ho new market second gate e wo kaso ho no on sabeka paint no dudu obi a ope wo do ani kire Taifa so Taifa Burkina opposite the Roman school no on sabeka Belka cotton paint ni bi e wo ho na wo so watu na on so da kodi odwuma kama free won sa telephone number ni e won kasa na won san kan wo de 0242 323 963 0242 323 963 and we have Belka cotton paint makade ya che oni paba to huana mo na nya so mfa so na mo me pacho na meduru su aye Eclipse Collateral Management and Advisory Services Eclipse Collateral Management and Advisory Services and then can have few of what also pa among for this ya dan e de rent SCC stores de rent ni ade obu ho wa rent na japade nyina wa diskari nyina manasa say wo hu rent bi wa ha se frefre tenant no rent ne hu ye de na to betima mama 1 year bi ya de you know so na wu hu enu ase enye fine but what dey na fa document no wo property no document na wo gu ho no wo dey na rent ya wie document na wo hu nyina ye wo de no fa ko Eclipse Collateral Management and Advisory Services o betimi aboa ama wa kwankyere ama ho advisor o betimi de anya sika na wo dey another project dey ama ho any jesam kese where the common property owners no once you have the documentation go or certificate what document no go say we ya odia no fa koma Eclipse Collateral Management fa ko kire wo mo keke o ma kire kwan abefa so obenya sika e we no so ho now there project for obetimi carry out any other project now so wetimi akọ ani mu abrabo mu Eclipse Collateral Management and Advisory Services we share kwan ewo Adenta Barrier ye be Medimosis Hospital no ye share West African SJ School no wo na chi wa intino share so obetimi aframe ewo 0543 832 466 0543 832 466 Eclipse Collateral Management and Advisory Services ye be hwe aboa ama wonso wudwumadi atimi SCP na sita ede amount Dosh Insurance menkan say wapo mu den eto atwa wona hwe obi benya wa efiade ntinu wo ha no abo wa brabo ho mai we ensi achiba for that yade bi beka wato a na watimi asiesie hu asi we no Dosh Insurance na dia ba Dosh Insurance o se for phone sisi ase wotie mi a na dial star 915 hash star 915 hash and look at dial na follow prompt na follow instructions no na fede nyansi achiba nya insurance for ma wapo modern uni problem kra you bet me amount up to 9,000 Ghana cedis to cover your health and your expenses into no we Dutch Insurance and a desanti achiba we aba fa hu she ma me fa hu she minu aba fa hu she mu bi na bo wapo modern ho ban da chi na etimi enwi opayo na wonso nyasomwie fa bo bra eno ano no ene maka che o maka de ye e de akere oni paba Happy 98.9 FM. You go to see the Mr. Mensah. Mr. Mensah and or a life coach, and and also that the way network. I know, ya kasa you see the ya come. My point be. May ya come. Ya minsiro. May you welcome me that sanity. And maybe I'm true for them. And the among listeners. Maybe I'm true listeners. No, they are shall see the questions about. Now, if you know. Tree and Comodiano area ban pump and so on. A minimum should be questions, messages by the move trade. They were only asking for Mr. Mensah's number. So don't worry, it'll be my wife. Yeah, the Bema do. And to be a maybe a home true for no Eddie, mamma listeners now. Watch me afraid. Now also the question about your son, the watcher, and maybe brave. Kakra woman or the Becca home Eddie, my nephew, my pecky calls no. Before I mess up corner subiono, Angel Cola. Angel Orange, Angel Mango, Angel Peach, and Angel Apple Lime. These are soft drinks. Adonko Soft Drinks Beverages Company Limited. At the Abakwamna religious program na me handle nti about soft drinks there. Ya na me kanfo e dey my listeners kwan so bebre. E soft drink na papa nko ade a wo be to sa program we so a ye be kanfo e dey ma we Adonko Soft Drinks Beverages Company Limited. And it is our soft drinks here. But the Angel atoso. Into flavor be our pebiano. So mango flavor, orange flavor, apple flavor, cola. That's a nina. You can get it through Adonko Soft Drinks Company Limited. Me pacho ma sankan womo. Abra free number is 0244 8322 86 0244 8322 86. Now on so sankan soft drinky na also wetimi anonombi ama wanichi area paye. Meda sepa. Mr. Mensah, member also na fa brief efa so na fe mi phone line no emma en simple listeners na yen chance yen fa questions no embra. Nti ne all carry wrap up for ene teachings and what dem aye no.
Yeah, so the last aspect is that after we've realized that values of coming to, you have to come to that Christ realization.
Okay.
What I say, and the way you can come to Christ realization is to embark on our own personal spiritual development. Oh, the problem is say yes, Jesus Christ dear. Now I end the war.
Apart from say yes, I am mansi ya watch the.
I think I be share spirituality na kasa say. You be develop your own.
Okay.
What I say because Nyankopon no oni wiye. So nobody is a custodian of God. God, we are just traveling in God. Yeah, we are experiencing God. We are going through. We are experiencing Him. But untumi hunu wie. Inti adesiano enwie da. Ensida. What you say? So the point is that when what qualify yourself in all these virtues, now you must begin your own spiritual journey in realizing God and experiencing God. When we read John chapter 17, verse 1-3, Bible says, Christ says, Father, the hour has come. Glorify your Son, that your Son may glorify thee, that thou hast given power over all flesh, and to give eternal life to as many as you, the Father, gives unto him. And over verse, I say, and now this is eternal life, that they may know you, the only true God, and Christ, whom thou hast said, thou have sent. Another version says that, and Jesus Christ, whom thou have sent. What I say? So that means that the Christ is a messenger to direct us to knowing God.
Okay.
You see, so the first thing that we must be able to do our own personal spiritual development. That is what is missing in the 21st generation church.
Spiritual development here, but see a chance here we are brabuma. And I'm going to see you too.
And I'm the first 6.
So the
second one is to get somebody who has journeyed the way of that self-realization, that God knowing, to be able to take you through, mentor you through it.
Oh, okay.
But I said first of all, someone who say, who is God? Or what is God?
No, you're so for much Diana.
And then me to me can, but I'm saying what I know. Me can be my experience. Me to me one for them to go through that personal development training to realize they are the God nature within themselves. Nyankopon na ye can say we were created in the image and likeness of God. And what is this image of God and what is the likeness? The church have not been able to explain it to us. We were created in the image and likeness, of God. What is the image of God and what is God's likeness? So, to me, decode this thing, then you can now begin the journey of knowing God.
Okay.
Because that image of God and likeness, you should know.
It's in the Bible. We've been reading all the time.
Yeah, but what is it? That is a code. What is image and what is likeness? Because Nyankopo only nipa our image. Only way. So what is that image they are talking about? And what is that likeness?
But also creating in his own image. Yeah,
but what you are watching my personality, it's like when you Coca-Cola bottle, maybe Fanta, you bottle, I'll say Coca-Cola, but they are doing Coca-Cola. Fanta. So you looking at the external shape of the appearance, you are deceived. God, there's some virtue within ourselves. That image of God is the energy of sound. And the likeness of God is the energy of light. So we're created in the image of sound and the likeness of light. In the Bible now, all those who experience God describe God either in the form of sound or in the form of light.
And that's a light. Can you?
So already, for instance, already Psalm 89, verse 15. It said, let me read it. It says that Psalm 89, verse 15. It says that blessed is the people. Psalm 89, verse 50 says, blessed is the people that know the joyful sound. They shall walk, O Lord, in the light of your countenance. So when you hear the joyful sound of God, you walk in God's countenance, which is light.
That's light.
When you read the book of John, it says that for this truth we have heard and we bear witness, for God is light.
That's right.
Jesus Christ said, I am the light of this world. When Paul was on his way to Damascus, he confronted the light, and there was a voice, which is the sound, came out of the light. Daniel said that for the glory of the Lord is like the 1,000 radiations of the sun, which is light. Moses saw the burning bush. Fire is a synonymous to light. Everybody who have experienced that, not only in the Bible, when you read the Bhagavad Gita, you read the Quran all talks about light. So to be able to start knowing God, to embark on the journey of knowing God, you must get somebody who will mentor you to see this light and hear the sound. Inside, it is there. Anybody can experience it. All you need is just a mentor and a coach. So where in your idea now, you don't have eternal life.
Wow.
Because that is the truth. And this is what is missing in Christianity.
Gospel na their brain. That's all. Asofuna juma na na why you know. Mr. Mensah. Sorry, what? Asofuna juma.
Me FM no say ma
Asofuna juma na why then. Maybe a phone line there my listeners. I want you also call 020-8533-467. 020-8533-467. More question be ana. Ofra Mr. Mensah how be you no yesua de e wa ha sei. Mensah me obi aba homa no so ma memfa no na yentoa. So hello, good afternoon. Me pa chonwa na kase o kase we.
I tell you, no Ashama.
Owusu Ashama yenti we.
Asama na maneka na correct pa. So me ko ka. Everything there the state is what the state process na.
Okay. All right, did I kind of wrong? Okay. Yeah, that's also no. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, afternoon.
Me pa chonwa na kase.
Ahmed, we are Ghana flag.
Ahmed.
Yeah, we are Ghana flag.
Okay, into Ahmed.
I do wanna to me person make us the point of correction, but the word Christ no one wrong. Christ means anointed, pointed. And as we John chapter 14, 16, Jesus see, I am the way and the life and the truth. What the Kasa because when you read John 9:5, or see, as long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world, meaning he has a time limit, because according to the same Bible, John the Baptist and Moses, they are all the way. Mikasa extra to alopo na benima yulema. Kosi obetray one way. Now we be them winner but Mikasa mantishu because we are rather divided from the Bonu topic worker and one corner one star emblem.
Yo.
All the day.
Yeah, that's also the no. Yeah, that's it. Why? Yeah, that's also the. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Me pa chonwa na kase.
Mpata ko sitem ko ni kase free BC.
Me na kwesi bibi aboko de.
Nyame adom mpata onso e.
Nyame adom ye wonkwa. Yenti we.
the kind of happy birthday chinchichi and comma Yanka Semini Abba and lawyer. But you will be a message. I'm in Islam or Nekasi or Yanikasiapa. Happy birthday. And Yamisha, little kid winning.
Are you catching me?
When you now a crop of former into the Assembly, the young one, the Besums, Yamisha.
Yo, because who do I don't know? The no one was baby Fabio Bunyan Quanon and Hiano, and an offer previously was one of the Mr. Mensah Conom Rebu or started discussion or kind. Or since I want to end a GD in your bapodia. There's no way you understand, or there's no way you agree with him, and I understand that. Oh, baby, who know what dream any would you do, and then the enemy enshia into the BBN overcome over Tenassi or see on Conon Rebu. Anyway, you can give us a call 020-8533-467 if you have any question. What about not Mr. Mensah? He will know to bet me so with me afraid not also what the about. We also any message, guy or free before we know also any message. No, all can say, oh no, hello, hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. But I'm fresh here, Shama.
Shama, you're from saying? JB, into it.
Guy no of fresh is here, no, can't say the beginning of the offense. Okay, with your remember,
who can with you?
Who started or Catano or can say is going to give us a way. Say on oil crystal foundation or Okitani, from that side.
You made mention
but
of that.
We students on this radio, Anya say on to me in country and say the way. Into the night say you have to say truly say the way but we check the community say the name say it is not Christianity as the only way to knowing God, He has established it 1 year foundation. The guy know is a little bit confused. I don't know how Christ find the way. But Christ is an energy. And yet Christ food here and now say a Muslim food here. But a universal character and now say way of living. Or trading upon young coupon. That is why the guy was saying what he said.
Okay.
Me introduction said, the only way, and now the way, no confusion over as a Christian perspective,
Okay. You, yes, we had us. Yes, we had us. My mission was high for us. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Maybe I can say.
Your friend Nana.
Nana, how can I say?
Because of freedom.
Down someone, DC, into you.
You better in your Mensah. Because entertain until they will be kind of beginning. So when you'll be as a back on, then you're not to be a share the bed and so because you move to do not that transfer them. The essence of their mind is different from the other. And so, this is we are watching said the union that I know, so the Christianity, betray, Ube the number 2. So I'm fan one to open and a luminous OBG. Now the babbage after the union children bed. It's not the union much of union as I didn't know. You know, is the first and I dare heading. But now, opportunity number am I in Obia, so there was a time. The routine as in or see Yamena or Canasam. I had there witness the Muslim. I saw be a won't pass you. The moment from Kaka. Now in theater now walking. Now, you mean that I'm a young chef because you tell it, they were buying a want to be a woman that you want to make more than the prefer the Dinin and coupon. And you want to go on a hair and a coupon on your own. It is a Obiabano to be in a I then a moment share and also some better. Because the work and was it fine or fast. It's a moment from Kakani and Fadi and Toncha Kakani and Shakwan, so dear, not to boy, because maybe they're in the
Okay. You better watch now, so they are come home. Hello, good afternoon, last caller.
Hello.
Me watch one ka say last caller. O say no ka say.
The Casa Free Coco Clinic.
Coco Clinic. Yenti was say.
Yeah. Greetings, and comma. Me and mentor. Help you, Mensah.
Okay. What you also?
Yeah, the person will contribute to say. Ubia, I found about Papa National. I will say, empty yourself from what you already know. Because Secretary Ford said, Papa no horo. Say Abandi Akara Bebana Yebema ministry for his what is espoused now. Yebema Ghana and for them as Africa for him. Because it's the very thing we need as Africans. He's talking about we realizing ourselves and being connected to the self. And it's the ultimate. And yes, the we are past that. So I'm praying, say, Ghanaians who are still. Now, I want my friend to tell me. Yeah, my yes, so you can't say rigid. Yes, because of the core philosophy, how we grew up from our various areas. Oh, they are pressed before, they are Methodist before. Yeah, daddy. Let's try and learn new things and then juxtapose with what we already know and see, say, what advantage we have in this current or new thing that our brother is giving us to us. Nyamisha, every greetings.
Nyamisha, Wajoso, Nyamisha, Minia. Era Sibinia, Nyamisha, yeah, for your calls and see here, na Yembra, Mr. Mensah. So I'm for Busao number punch, and I would like you to respond to the callers, and then you mention your number now. Yeah, for your commotion, right?
In this world, you must be accommodative. What you're saying, and then one beauty of spirituality is being able to accommodate all divergent view. And sometimes I've encountered a lot of these things, but the beauty of it is that I know that everybody is going to realize this thing, whether they believe it or not. Whether you believe the self or you don't believe the self, it is the self that makes you talk. It's the self that makes you wake up in the morning. Yeah. It's just that you are oblivion by religion that you don't want to deal with the actualities. Okay. The guy who called earlier on talking about the light, about saying, I think he's a Muslim. Yeah. Uncle read the Quran 24:35. It says that Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. It's in the Quran.
It's in the Quran.
It says Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. So Allah is the light. And without Allah, you can never have the light. And if you want to experience Allah, you must first experience His light. And that light is in you. And that light is what you call the self. When you go to the Eastern religion, they call it the divine spark. It's in us. And Christ also talked about that for your eye is the light of the body. If your eye be single, your body will be full of light. You see, the problem is we are so engrossed in religion. You understand? Like the way we do our partisan politics, and we are refusing to learn. And when you take time to study, I did TR. So I know what I'm talking about. When I say TR, it means Transcendental Rotational Research.
Oh, okay.
So when you come to my office, I have all the books, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, I have all the books there.
Hey,
yes, so I'm not just talking for talking's sake. But what I want to do, all the religions are talking about the same thing, but there's what we call religious politics in it. So this one wants to make you feel that mine is better than yours. This one wants to feel that his is better than yours. And that is the politics of religion. But if we should put the politics aside, we should put the dogmas aside, and we should put the indoctrinations aside, we are all talking about one thing. And that is God. God is one. God is light. God is love.
Thank you.
And that light and that love dwells in us. Nobody can ever see God. Nobody can ever see God. It is how I see you and I see myself is the expression of God. Right. God is in all animate and inanimate things. The way we treat our environment, the way we treat ourselves, the way we treat one another, we create a collective consciousness of godliness. Oh. So you cannot tell me that, okay, you should go to, as he talk, has he ever seen Allah? Has he gone to him before? No. You see, so the problem is we need to really
okay, so
For those who want to learn and they wish to acquire more knowledge, my phone line is 0243 732861.
0243
73
61.
Or they can go to The Way Networks.
The Way Networks.
Some of these videos are there.
Okay.
YouTube, The Way
YouTube.
Networks.
Okay.
Yeah. And everything is fine. Everything is beautiful in God.
Okay.
The beauty of life is to have divergent views of variety. That at the end of the day, we realize that we are all on the same journey.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Mensah. You see a country there, Mr. Mensah, and a bro for there. What you about you, man? I say, bro. What you about you, I say, bro. For it's here, I'm there. But your listeners not to us. I mean, sure, I'm a permanent. You better sound so at on Safrobio. Yeah, that was it.